Hello everybody, a very good morning to you and welcome back to another live stream here at Atmos and Taurex. I hope everyone is doing well. As you can tell, I am back in my usual office setup, my usual recording setup, so we're back in Dubai now. Apologies I weren't streaming yesterday. I was literally running off about 40 minutes sleep, so I managed to get some good sleep last night, which means I'm now back active in the markets. I don't have any trades on at the moment, but the purpose of today's stream is to obviously study the current themes and narratives that we've got coming on at the moment, and also for myself try and actually see if there's any market opportunities out there, because obviously I was working last week, but I was stuck up in the recording studio, so it's difficult for me to actually try and execute trades, and also the week before I was off, so I decided to take a full break from anything trading related. So it's been a couple of weeks since I actually pressed that button, so I wouldn't say I'm eager to do it, but I'm now actively looking for market opportunities. Hopefully I can share some of them with you in today's stream if the opportunity is there. It is important that when we are coming back from a break that we don't try and chase the market still. Always try and just execute the plan no matter how long or how much time you've had off. It doesn't mean if you have not placed a trade for 2 weeks, you should then place one straight away. So that's why we should always remain patient. We are still doing the giveaways, of course, on the stream. You can see up on this top left-hand side for you. If you comment win on the YouTube chat, you will be entered into a live draw to win a 10k Atmos funded challenge account or a 50% deposit bonus into Taurex. We had a unclaimed prize from last week's stream, which means that I'm rolling it over for today, which means that there's another two Atmos 10k funded challenges up for grabs today. So whoever didn't claim that prize, that's a shame. That's why it's always important, if you do comment win, to try and stay on the stream until the end, because that's when I do the live draw, and it means you can then actually come and claim the prize. Okay, right. Let me just read some of the comments you've had coming through. Good to see the people on the stream today. SP King FX, good to see you. Nikhil, hello to you. Good to see you as well. Easton, hello. Nasdi, good to see you. I will look at your question, Nasdi, as well. Nikhil, how do I get a funded account? Pretty much what I just said. Comment win, and you can get access to a challenge, and then obviously pass the challenge, and then you'll be funded with us over at Atmos. Good to see you, Team Minus. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Jane, we've got Jay Cops, Piyush, and who else have we got? Ruben, hello to you as well. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And James Clear, thank you very much for the comment, and thank you very much for tuning in. Let's just talk through some of the questions first. As always on the live streams, these are like live Q&As. So if you have any questions on the markets, then now's a great time to ask them whilst I'm live, and I will answer all the questions that come up, any markets anyone wants me to cover. I do always have a rough plan of what I'm going to stream about, but as people who have watched my streams know, I always like to leave it up to a Q&A as well to see if there's any questions. So let me just look at the first one we've got coming through. I have a question. Gold should be flying after the bomber cud, but it doesn't. It keeps falling. What is happening to the market right now since Trump became president? The market is so hard to trade for real. By the way, I only trade Nasdaq, but the market is so chaotic right now because of the war. Now the Nasdaq is so high right now, I don't know if it will give a buying opportunity later. Give it to me, so I really need the account. Okay. Right, let's just talk about gold first of all then. So the question here is that gold should be flying after the situation that happened over the last few weeks in the Middle East. Theoretically, yes, you're correct. Let me just go onto the gold chart now so I can show you what the current price action is. Okay, this has basically been the price of gold on there. Let's look at the daily time frame first. This has been the price of gold. It's been stuck really, hasn't it, since the middle of April. Not too much more momentum here, but not too much bearish momentum, but really we've just been pausing. So to answer your question, first of all, on gold should be flying after the bomber cud, but it doesn't. Well, I don't know if you saw this news overnight, but we've now got a situation where we've got a total ceasefire now in effect between Israel and Iran. So that was the news overnight. So when we see gold down 1.5% this morning, that was basically because we now see a ceasefire. I don't know if anyone saw the tweet from Donald Trump. The ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. Yeah, so that would be the reason why gold is falling today. You probably might ask as well why gold wasn't rising during the time of when the bombing was occurring, but it was. The thing is that we have to realise is there are other factors in play here as well. So when we look at the yearly performance of gold, look at it. We're pretty much in a straight line. Okay? We've got, at the moment, priced in maximum bullishness. So when it comes to things like this, Nasdaq, what I would suggest to you is I would go onto the higher time frames, zoom out, look at the higher time frames and say to yourself, how far have we already come? Because you can see on this gold market right now, we've already come so far this year. The actual situation as well, when we think about what happened when the US decided to get involved, without getting any too political about it, people were actually saying that they were just obviously they were just targeting the nuclear facilities. There weren't any like reported civilian casualties, for example, that we've seen in other wars or conflicts. So it was a very concentrated, probably a one-off attack, and that seems to have been what the situation was. There was a clear goal for that attack. They say that their mission was achieved, or their achievement was there. So actually, there wasn't really too much of a threat of this going any further. It was all going to depend on how Iran responded. Iran responded by trying to hit some US bases in Qatar, which apparently were unsuccessful and intercepted. Then we saw the ceasefire. So we didn't actually see it escalate too much. However, if you look at gold on the weekly time frame, we are still really, really bullish. There is still uncertainty, and during times of uncertainty, you're right, we should see gold prices rise. So what I would say to you now is what we're seeing is a technical pullback, which could open up some good buying opportunities. Let's have a look at where those buying opportunities could be, first of all. So what I would think now, if I look at gold, if you look what happened here, okay, you can see that gold traded into this fair value gap. Okay, then went higher. And now we're coming back for another test of it, but I would probably think now we filled it, I believe gold might even fall probably down to this liquidity area. Okay, somewhere here. And to be honest, if you look, we are just trading pretty much within a really wide range between 3,120 and the all-time high up at 3,500. This is the range that we're trading at the moment, and you can see the current price sits somewhere in the middle. You see that fair value gap there? It's roughly around the 50% of this whole range. So if the ceasefire continues to be respected and we don't see anything in the data that suggests more uncertainty going forward, then I believe that gold probably has some more downside. The reason that it may not fall too far, well, as in further really than this liquidity, or I still think this is probably the floor of the market for now, is because we've still got that weaker dollar. We've still got that weaker dollar story, which I think is keeping gold prices sort of stuck within the range. So we have some easing. Oh, just dropped my mouse. we have some easing of the uncertainty, which is why gold's falling. But at the same time, that's being counteracted by the weaker dollar story, which is why we just sort of are stuck now between this big range that we've got. Okay. And yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Nasdaq. Because of the ceasefire, that's why gold is dumping this morning. Because it's a relief of the uncertainty. Anytime we see times of uncertainty, gold up. When we see that uncertainty start to be, drawn back, we see gold lower. Just reading some of the other things that people have said about gold as well. Gold pump before fueling up. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, the thing is that there is still uncertainty around, and I imagine that a lot of retail traders have been really just trapped in trying to buy and sell gold because obviously everyone loves trading gold, and in times of when gold is stuck in a range, we see people lose accounts. I would, I would suggest that maybe don't look at gold. You don't have to trade gold. There might be better opportunities in other markets right now. But I do believe if I had to analyze gold for you right now, I believe that gold will fall down towards about 3240. From there, I believe that we could see some support here. This would be my next area. Something that looks like this. It's about remaining patient. And at the same time, just quickly, because I know I spoke about gold a lot. I know you don't trade gold, Nasty, but you're trying to understand why, and that's great. That's exactly what we want. People who say like, oh, gold's dumping, gold's... It's not really. We're 200 dollars away from its all-time high. I mean, it's up God knows how many percent this year. So this is just a period of consolidation. It's very natural in markets. The market expands very, very rapidly. We then either get a retracement or we get a period of consolidation. I would actually say that considering back in April, we start to saw the gold market top out, it's actually still holding up fairly well. So I would still be looking for buying opportunities in gold. It is what it is until it isn't. That's why I always say, especially on the higher time frames. And right now on the higher time frames, we're still bullish. So I'd still be looking for buying opportunities. And I think we could get one down at 3230. I wanted to show I just saw a message come through about oil. And I wanted to show you a really fantastic post that I saw yesterday on LinkedIn. Let me just quickly search it for you guys. Because this will explain the reason. So my analysis is that gold will continue to trade within that range if the ceasefire is respected. But overall, I still remain bullish on gold overall. Yeah, that would be my analysis. So let it fall to a nice area of support. That would be what I say. Here we go. Read this post from this is someone I know called David Bell, and he's fantastic at fundamentals. He probably isn't watching my stream, but if he is, I love this post. Basically, said here, you'd think that oil would moon after the US hits Iranian nuclear sites, right? Wrong. Just like when they whacked General Soleiman back in 2020. Everyone's screaming about World War III, oil to $200, end of civilization, and what happened? Sweet F all. This is why most people are absolutely garbage at trading. It's a bit of a brutal post, to be honest. They get caught up in the narrative instead of looking at what actually matters. You know what I was watching while everyone was panicking about Iran? The VIX. Volatility buying is sticky as hell when there's real fear. But if the market doesn't actually care about your scary headline, the VIX will tell you. It's not about what should happen according to the news. It's about what is happening according to the data. This is exactly why they're waiting for permission. Meanwhile, smart money is looking at actually. Stop trading the narrative and start trading the data. It works every single time. Really, really nice post there. Basically, what this is saying is stop getting caught up too much in the headlines that you see online and actually start having a look at the real data that's coming out in the economic calendars and also what's happening in the volatility index. So during that time, I don't know if anyone tracks the VIX. I do. Oh, it is in there. Oh, where was it? I was at the bottom. Down here. Okay. The VIX will tell you what's happening in the markets more than anything else. So don't read the headline about, we're going into World War III, or read the headline about this and that and that. I don't think the institutions and the big banks that are making all the money, they're not reading the headlines. Their analysts aren't reading the headlines. They're looking at the underlying data that comes out in our calendars every day in respect to oil, in respect to the economy, US GDP that's coming out later on this week, FOMC decisions, the language that Powell uses. That's what matters, not the scary headlines that BBC News or Sky News put out. So, yeah, And it's about trying to distance yourself from all that crazy stuff that's going on and think of things with a clear head. The best way to do that, and I agree with the post that was there, is to look at the volatility index. If you haven't looked at this chart before, I strongly recommend you start looking at it. Just type in on TradingView the VIX. It's not necessarily you can trade it, I think, on futures or something, but I wouldn't trade it personally. Look at what the VIX is doing, because it will tell you everything you need to know. So, we had a huge spike of volatility, right? And that was when the Trump tariffs were coming in. So that was a storyline that we needed to listen to, because the VIX was reacting in kind. Since then, the VIX has been on a decline, and we now trade all the way back down at 18. So we're at the same levels of the VIX that we were in 2024, in 2023, which would suggest to me that things aren't too bad. That's basically what the situation is. The volatility index is quite suppressed and quite low, which means that normal market conditions are actually underway. So when we opened up on Monday, everyone was like, "Oh my God, we're going to see oil might gap at $90. And, the stock market might be 4% lower when we open up on Monday." When we opened up on Monday, the VIX was lower. So when everyone was selling, when everyone was buying oil, retail traders were buying oil, and retail traders were buying gold, and retail traders were selling the stock market. The big banks were doing the opposite, because the VIX, and obviously other things as well, but the VIX was telling us that there isn't that much fear in the markets actually. So you've got to try and distance yourself from the headlines aren't the reality. The reality is what this thing is telling you. And that's my biggest advice to you today when you're in times like this. So now we see the VIX down at 18. We can look at the markets with a bit more of a clear head, and we can say, well, normal. And then look at the stock market. 1.2% up on the DAX. The Nasdaq's up 1.2%. The S&P 500 is up 1%. This is bullish. Despite war, despite, worries about the economy and what happened to Trump tariffs. A lot of the time, obviously you do get times in the markets where, things fall off a cliff and things break. But guess what? It always rebounds. And that's why I always say to people, don't panic during times of uncertainty, and don't desperately try and get into selling opportunities in the stock market. It's better to wait for the buying opportunities, because nine times out of 10, and there will be a time in history where you try and buy the dip and it keeps falling. But generally speaking, looking for support areas in the stock market, that is the play. It always has been, always probably will be. So when you look at the S&P 500 at the moment, and let's look at the Nasdaq, because I know that there's people in here that trade it, and it is one of my favourite markets as well. It continues to grind to the upside. And if you have a look at where we are now, this is the moment where retail traders go, why didn't I buy it? Why didn't I just buy it when it was down here? Okay, it's easier said than done, because you have to try and distance yourself from the news. And I think I got a buying opportunity down, I think it was back in May, was it? I've checked my journal, but I definitely caught one of these buying opportunities, and I'm probably thinking now I should have held on to it, but I made the money I wanted to and I got out. Now we see a situation where, 22,250, we're 100 points away from the all-time high. And now the question is it a good buying opportunity? Okay. Is it a good buying opportunity? Well, it will depend, as I always say, how we interact with the high. That's what I always say. When you get an all-time high and you get a key market structure high or a key market structure low, I always say to everyone, watch how it reacts with that high or low. What do I mean by that? Well, obviously there's a ton of liquidity sitting above the all-time high. Do we get a situation where, and people always hear me say this all the time, do we get a situation where the market blasts above it? Okay. Or do we get a situation where the market wicks into the area and closes back inside the range? There's two ways in which we can trade this. If the market, slams above the all-time highs, wait for the next pullback, then we go. Yeah, that's when we go. Or the market trades into this area, we get a liquidity grab on the top side, we close back inside the range, and there might be a short-term trade down towards maybe somewhere like 21,700. But I still think it will only be short-lived. This will be a really short-term trade if you was looking to get in. And in fact, I would expect that at some point, even though we might get something like that, we will come back up to test this high, maybe break above it. Thank you very much, Simba. I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly that, Nasdi. I wouldn't buy it right now. Wait to see how it interacts with this high first. So I'm going to be sitting here waiting. In fact, I'm even going to, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to set an alert at that level. There we go. I've set an alert. And we'll try and trade it together once we get a move, once we get a move up to around where that all-time high is. Okay, cool. Remember, guys, keep commenting win to join the live giveaway. I know a few of you have commented win. You only need to comment it once. You can see that we've got 22 entries so far. Okay. In terms of news events we've got coming out for the rest of this week, just want to quickly point you in the right direction, and we'll take a look at some of the Forex pairs as well. Daniel's on the stream. Hello to you. Looking at Euro Yen and GBP Japanese Yen. Thank you very much for the comments as well. Great analysis. I appreciate that. If you do have any traders or any friends that are looking or are struggling and they want some help in their trading, feel free to send the stream link to them, and yeah, maybe I can help them out. Okay, so we do actually have a speech from Jerome Powell today, so we should be listening to what he says. I mean, I don't know if has anyone seen this. No matter what you think of the man, it's entertaining to watch, right? This is what Donald Trump has tweeted 1 hour ago to Jerome Powell. He's called him too late, Jerome Powell. Too late, Jerome Powell. The Fed will be in Congress today in order to explain, among other things, why he is refusing to lower the rate. Europe has had 10 cuts. We have had 0. No inflation, great economy. We should be at least 2 to 3 points lower. We should save the USA $800 billion per year plus. What a difference this would make. If things later change to the negative, increase the rate. I hope Congress really works this very dumb, hard-headed person over. We will be paying for his incompetence for many years to come. The board should activate, make America great again. Yeah. In simple terms, Trump really wants Powell to cut rates, and Powell is being stubborn because he believes that there are still inflationary pressures from the Trump tariffs back. So it's very tit for tat, but it's not a good look. Let's just say that it's not a good look between Trump and Powell. It's not a good look for America, really, with these two going at each other. So, yeah. What does this mean? Well, I don't think it has too much impact on the stock market as such, but it's really putting pressure, I still think, on the US dollar. Which, remember last week where, unfortunately, I was stopped out of my USD CAD trade, annoyingly, because we now look at the dollar, we've come back down. When this was happening, I said to everyone, I'm not bullish on the dollar unless we see a break above 100.5. We didn't even get close. And now it looks to me like we could be seeing more downside in the dollar. So that's something that I'll be actively looking for. Where would I look to trade that against? Probably against somewhere like euro dollar. In fact, I did have a potential area to buy euro dollar there. We didn't quite tag into it. So let's have a look. Fibonacci maybe. Trying to think of the best market. Probably not. Euro dollar is probably not the best market. I'd like to see a bit more of a pullback here. I'd love to see a move down to 1.15 and then probably would go in on a buy, but not quite yet. Let me just read some of the questions here. Where should we start learning trading as a beginner? You can come and join the Taurex and Atmos Discord channels, and we do put some educational content in there, and obviously you can learn from my live streams as well. Also, if you head over to our YouTube channel, because this is answer 2 questions, Nikhil, if you head over to the Taurex YouTube channel, I've just released a set of videos. if you go onto the videos, I've just released a set of videos on how you actually, like really simple, like 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, up to 5 minute tutorials on how to start trading with Taurex. So if you go down to the bottom, you can see from the very beginning, look, I've got how to sign up with Taurex, add your payment methods, withdrawals, fund the account, and then it also moves straight onto MT5 as well. How to connect an existing account to MT4, how to use MT5 and start trading, how to place a trade, all these sorts of things. So if you just start working on those videos, in the meantime, I'm working on my own trading academy. So I'll be releasing courses which will take you from beginner trader up to potentially starting a funded challenge or depositing into a broker account. So that journey, I've done it from stage 1 all the way up. I think there's 7 or 8 modules in the academy. So I've recorded 2 of them already. I'm waiting for them to be edited, and then we're going to start to talk about how we can release those to you. So stick with me. I'm hoping by the end of summer, I'll have all of those modules recorded. They're going to look amazing. We've got a fantastic editing team who are on the case. So it's going to be like, it's not just going to be me on the camera. It's also going to be like motion graphics, explaining the concepts really cleanly. A bit of me on the camera, a bit of me obviously sharing my screen and showing you how to do it as well. And also I'm going to be potentially opening up one-to-one sessions for premium clients as well. So there is lots coming, so stick with us. Also, if you follow me on social media, if you just go onto Instagram or TikTok at Connorwood's Trading, I share videos on tips and tricks, psychology videos a lot of the time as well. So you can come and join and interact with me on those social media videos as well. So lots. Kirkton, hello. CME has changed in the last few days from 99% to 77% in terms of the cut. That's a good spot from you, Curtin. Last week, we spoke about the CME Fed Watch tool. Remember this was at 99% about whether the Fed are going to cut? That's now changed to 22%. So we've got that dovish shift, right? And when you get that dovish shift, that's when you see the dollar weakness. It literally is right there in front of you. This data is available to everyone. If you people were, obviously, I wasn't active really last week, but now I'm active again. I'll be really, really having a look at some of these movements in the probabilities and the CME Fed Watch tool, because that really will drive the markets. Great spot, Curtin. I love that. So yeah, I believe that we may see a continuation of the dollar weakness. There is a fair value gap here in the dollar, which sits here. We're trading into it now. So I believe anywhere from this area really is a good area to potentially go short on the actual dollar index itself. So if I just open up, I don't have Twitter, but it's on my to-do list for this week. I've got a Twitter account. I've never used it for trading. The Atmos funded and the Taurex have a Twitter account where they post. So I'm actually going to start on a Twitter account. Eastern. I'm going to do that, and I'll put it next stream when you come on. I'll share that with you because I do need to do it. Just been so busy, I've not had time to do it. And Dan, yeah, okay. Dan wants me to be on X as well. This week, I will open up an X account. I'll convert my current account into a trading X account. Normally, I was posting about football or something, but now it's going to be everything trading related. So updating on news, trade ideas, etc. What sort of stuff do you want me to post, Dan? What would be good to post on there? Let me know. Daniel was also looking for trend rider setups in Euro Yen and Pound Yen. Let's take a look. My mind's gone blank. I don't know where I am. I like this, Dan. This looks really clean. ADX is sort of we are trending definitely. Potential opportunity there in the Pound Yen. Maybe something that looks like that. What's that? 3 to 1. You know what? I might place that, up to this resistance 2 point, up to 199.6. 3 to 1 risk reward. I'm going to put 1% trade on that. That's the best trade I've seen today so far. I'm going to post that in the Discord channel now, and I'm going to place that trade in literally 2 seconds. Thank you, Destiny. I appreciate that. Post the footy. Okay, right. You can actually offer it. That's good news, Dan. Okay, everyone. I didn't realise that everyone uses X so much. Okay, I'm gonna start posting on there. I promise. This week I will open that account and I'll start feeding in that's really cool economic data, like in the CME FedWatch tool and all that sort of stuff. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that, Dan. I'll take a look at that as well. So I'm going to place this trade and I'll post it in the Discord channel as well. Okay, and I think we're just about ready now to probably do the live stream giveaway. I've got some meetings coming up as well. I'll get this trade on. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay. Right then, people. Yes, and also educational stuff. I will post all the videos, psychology tips, and all that sort of things on the channel as well. All right, everybody. Let's get cracking with the live stream giveaway for today. So good luck to those who are all involved. We've got 22 entries today, which means that 1 in 11 chance to win. So yeah, good luck to those who are involved. This is 2 10k Atmos challenge accounts and 2 50% deposit bonuses. If you are a winner on today's stream, please drop your Discord username in the chat section, and you'll be able to. I'll show you how to claim that prize. So, first winner is Ruben. Ruben, you have won a 10k Atmos funded challenge account. Good luck in that challenge. Please drop your Discord username and I will show you how you can claim that. Fantastic stuff. Good start to the week for you, Ruben. And our second winner is James Clear. James Clear, you've won 10k Atmos funded challenge. Sorry, Nasdi, not today, but I'll be back on the live on Thursday. It is completely random. So, and hopefully you're subscribed to the channel because you do get double the chance. I do apologise that you didn't win that. Our winners for the Taurex 50% deposit bonus is Piyush and T minus. Well done, James Clear. Fantastic stuff. Well done to all of those who participated in the giveaway. The 4 winners are on the screen now. If you drop me a message, good stuff, T. Right, it's lovely. What a man. If you drop your Discord username on the chat section now, then I'm not sure, Dan. No one's really communicated with me after. Yes, so the UK are now supported for accounts on Atmos as well. So please drop your Discord username, guys, for the winners. You can either do that now, or you can do that after the stream is finished. And I will message you once you've shown me your Discord username. I'll drop you a message on how you can claim that prize. Okay, good stuff, everybody. I'll be back live on Thursday to break down maybe what Jerome Powell said and maybe give an update on my trading journal as well. I need to sort that out because obviously I've been away for 2 weeks. So I will show you an update on that and obviously give you an update on the pound yen long trade, which I'm now entering. Thank you very much, James Clear. Well done to all those who are winning. Have a great day, everybody. Trade well, trade safe, and I will see you for the stream on Thursday. But I also will be active in the markets throughout the rest of this week. Now I'm back fully, so drop me any questions that you have in the Discord channel as well, and I'll be more than happy to help. Okay, trade well, trade safe. Thank you, everybody. Take care.